The fear of missing out. It's something all of us as collectors feel. Some of us may know it plays a part in our collecting journey. Some of us may not. In today's video, we're going to look at everything about FOMO, but most importantly, tips and tricks to help you collect better and try and ignore that little pesky bit of FOMO. Now, when it comes to collecting, FOMO, or fear of missing out, is something that is there and it's kind of ingrained in every part of the collecting community. It's that feeling of missing out on something that you're so desperate to have and you feel like if you don't get, life isn't worth it.
I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. I need it!
FOMO is an interesting topic, and it's one I think is very appropriate for what's going on currently in the soccer community because we keep seeing releases one after the other. Unfortunately, we don't always talk about it. The fear of missing out is sometimes ignored, or we act like it doesn't come into effect with us. But personally speaking, I know it has affected my journey over the years. Now I have ways to control it and avoid it. And in this video, we're going to help you control it and avoid it to keep your collection where you want it to be. So let's discuss where FOMO is in the card community. Well, obviously, number one, it comes from manufacturers. They create it. They rely on it. They want us to have FOMO. Breakers also want you to have FOMO. The industry on whole wants you to have FOMO. Without it, products wouldn't move so quickly, sales wouldn't be so high for new products, and ultimately, without the FOMO, people wouldn't care that much about every release that comes along. So a harsh reality, whether you're new to the hobby or experienced in the hobby, there is a cloud, an ecosystem around us as collectors that fundamentally doesn't give a shit about your collecting journey.
They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all, at all, at all.
Every time you look online, there's a new release. There's a new shiny card. There's something being pushed down your throat by manufacturers and breakers as well. Marketing that is put into these things is at a fucking crazy level. There is a classic example of this that kind of has been swept under the rug, but it has been infiltrating its way into the sports card community. And that is the trash product that has been getting pushed to fucking heaven called V-Friends. I was thinking of putting something on screen to show you what it looked like, but if you really need to know what it looks like, you can Google it. But I think most people who are in the card collecting community will have heard of it by now. So what do I mean by the heavy marketing? Well, suddenly, this trash, pointless, no-value product was suddenly appearing on sport card channels, sports card podcasts, and their social media. Topps released this product, and Topps have their hand in everyone's pocket.
Take this pocket right here, and your life be all peaches and cream. I walk, you walk with me. Keep you real close so no one up in here can hurt you.
The reason you could tell was because all of these people suddenly started sharing this content, saying, oh my God, look at this, it's We Friends. Everyone has been doing it. Topps are telling their content creators or their people that they have linked with that if they don't push this product, they won't help them with the next product or the one after that. So be aware when you tune into certain social media pages or certain channels, if they are pushing products like We Friends, like Arena Club, all of these things, if they are pushing them, there is a reason for it. It's not because they think they're great, it's because they're being told they have to push it. So thus, shows you the kind of marketing power these big time companies have. They want to create the want, they want to create the need. And how do they do that? They pump it in front of your face in every aspect possible. I think we sometimes forget as collectors that the manufacturers are businesses. Breakers are businesses. They need to make money. They're not out there to help you and support you in your collecting journey. That's fine. They don't need to. But you need to be aware of that and you need to acknowledge that before you continue collecting. They don't care if they release 7 releases in 7 weeks. They don't care if they burn you out and make you want to stop collecting. They know there's always going to be someone else coming along that's willing to spend their money. But collecting is fun. That's why we're all in this. That's why we started doing this. We feel nostalgia. We feel excitement behind these shiny pieces of cardboard. But it is also okay to acknowledge that you've fallen foul of FOMO. I have, as I said earlier, I have fallen foul of it. Not too long ago, about a year and a half ago, my collecting journey just didn't make sense when you look back on it. It didn't matter what I was collecting. If it was shiny and new, I needed it. I was scattergun. It was all over the place. But with some different approaches to collecting, I've found my journey a lot easier. And when I see a new release, yes, I get excited. Yes, there's things I want, but I'm not as desperate to get it straight away. Because that's what FOMO is. You're desperate to get it straight away. Collecting is supposed to be fun. It takes up your time, takes up your money. So if it's doing those things, you don't want to get burnt out and empty your wallet and leave collecting. So what are some solutions and tactics to bring into play to help you avoid FOMO? First one I do, which is a really great idea and a simple idea, open your phone, bring up that notes app, and write a list of cards that you really, really want to add to your collection. Basically, your grail list. Now, with this list, revise it. Go back on it every week, every month, every couple of months, and look into it. Make note of maybe what you don't want anymore or new additions to the list. Also, take off any in the list that you have obtained. The reason for this is it's kind of trying to create a little bit of accountability in yourself with what you are collecting. If you have goals, you can reach them. And every time you knock one goal off, you go for the next goal. It's a very simple way of collecting, but make a list on what you want to collect. A second tactic is focus and fine-tune your collecting down to specific things. A specific player, a specific year, a specific set. If you get streamlined and focused, you won't get distracted by all the shiny things that come out. You're staying steadfast, you know what you want, and you will achieve it. So get specific with what you want to collect. Another one is avoid social media on release weeks, maybe even release fortnights. Avoid the pages of breakers and product manufacturers on those couple of weeks. All you're going to see is a flood of cards, a flood of FOMO potentials that are there on screen. You're going to see all these things and you're like, oh, that card would look great. Oh, wow, that would look great. It will distract you. It is just feeding the beast that FOMO is. The next one is there is a massive hype train, as we spoke about, behind every release. Everyone's involved in it. But as you may have noticed, the hype train dies down. Give you an example. 2 weeks ago, we had Premier League Prism from Panini. And then last week, we got Topps Chrome UCC. So the hype train went all into Prism, then it switched to Chrome. Suddenly, the hype behind Prism's died. Chrome's currently got the hype. As soon as the next product comes out, Chrome will die too. So just be aware, the hype train's there to create the FOMO in your collection. An important thing to know also is take your fucking time collecting. This isn't a race. The cards will always be there. They'll always float around the market. That card you want will not be gone forever. It might be harder to find down the line, but cards will always be there. They're always floating around. You will find that card if you really want that card. So don't stress, don't panic, and don't rush. The last tip and tactic to avoid FOMO is never compare how you collect to anyone else. It doesn't matter how this guy or girl collects. It only matters how you collect. So never compare your way of collecting or your collection to anyone else. That leads you into a fear of missing out. Avoid it at all costs. So take all of that on board. Acknowledge if you struggle with FOMO. It's okay if you struggle with FOMO. But take these tips, these little tricks, and find a way to navigate around the beast that is fear of missing out. Find a way to be happy with collecting. Find a way to keep that wallet healthy with collecting. I hope these tips and tricks have helped, and I hope it empowers you in your collecting journey. As always, hit those comments down below. Let me know, have you experienced FOMO? Have you got a way to avoid FOMO? Hit me up down below. I love to hear from you guys as always. This has been Totally Football Cards. My name's Jeremy. Yeah, buddy. Let's get it.